You can't, most of the time, you can't be that great without going through hell. So in America, there's never been really an interest in funding anything that's going to lead to true empowerment and development of Black people. And you also have to confront things from a deep cultural standpoint. For example, I hate to say this to you, Black men, but y'all ain't built like the men in other countries. Some of you were broken, and you have a slave mentality. And I'm not talking about people in this room per se. I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. We're seen as weak. We're seen as undisciplined, unfocused, dropping our penis in anything that moves, irresponsible, not reliable, all these things. And I'm not saying this is true for everybody. Some people, the people that it applies to know who they are. The ones it doesn't apply to know who they are. But all of us can do better because we have so many bad habits that are given to us that cause us to just go in all these crazy directions. And I blame hip hop music. I think hip hop is part of it, which it was funded by other people to distract you and make you weak and unreliable and borderline. It's seen as borderline pathetic. You're not seen as the head of a household. You're not seen as somebody that should be running $1 billion company. You're not seen as a person that should be planning how we're going to explore the Martian surface. You're not seen as somebody who should be leading a nation. You're kind of seen, unfortunately, as a child or as a wimp, but that's America. You dump all your little boys in the school system, and then you take in whatever culture they give to you. And we all create this. It's not just the men, though, that do this. Remember, these men are raised by women, and some of y'all are raising your sons to be little punks, little, uncompetitive, wimpy little crybabies that don't take accountability for anything, that don't want to excel in anything they do, don't know a damn thing about toughness, right? For example, the fact that we've kind of tried to ban phrases like "man up." I don't understand that. I'm like, well, why wouldn't you? Sometimes you have to man up. Sometimes there's nobody there to cry for you. You're not a 12-year-old. You're not a child. You're 40. Right? So sometimes you have to man up. Sometimes you have to put your feelings to the side and do what you got to do. And it's not easy. It's painful. It's probably a little traumatic. But sometimes you have to absorb trauma to protect the people that you care about, to keep them from having to absorb trauma, right? So there's a whole complex set of ideas around this, but I believe in this very deeply because I've studied winners. I've studied cultures that win, cultures that become powerful, families that become successful. I studied the Rockefellers in extreme detail. And I studied John D. Rockefeller's upbringing, and his father was kind of a scammer, and he abandoned the family, and how Rockefeller, his tough experience made him committed to economic independence as a pathway to power.